Ben, if it's so easy, cost effective, productive for clinic owners to get feedback, why don't they? Like, I'm asking you to be Tony Robbins here for a second. Like, are we trying to avoid like feedback? Are we subconsciously like nervous? What do you think is in the psyche of the clinic owner who knows what we're talking about but doesn't actually get it done?
Oh, there's probably a few. I'm interested in everyone's thoughts here. I think number one, there can be just maybe a skills or technical gap for a lot of people. They're like, what system do I use? And they get caught up researching things and never actually doing it. And number two, it's like it's always just easy to see the next patient in the diary or manage that next email or Slack message or team member that's come to you. I think just so much is of a clinic owner's world is reactionary, that building some of these systems to carve out a morning in your week, build it, and then for a bit of maintenance over time, have it set and forget largely, is not that big of a deal. But I guess, here we are in May, and I'm like, where'd the start of the year go? And I know that's true for many people, is they just get so busy they don't prioritize it. And there's a level of discomfort that comes with getting negative feedback that people probably subconsciously, consciously
Why
want
is
to
why is
avoid.
negative feedback uncomfortable? What is that?
I reckon if you ask most people, they would think they're doing a good job, and that would directly counter that. I think if you said, how good are you at taking care of your caseload? I haven't met too many people who would say, yeah, I'm sucking at the moment. About half my clients do well and half don't. And it's quite revealing, a bit of an ego hit to it, and depends how it's delivered so that you can receive it. And then two, if you don't know what to do with it, like how am I going to change? That can be a limit. The other side is there's always another side. You're like, to your point, Pete, oh, well, that client just wasn't a really good client, so I'm just going to disregard it. It's not really valued. So I'm interested, Pete, you've done a lot in this space. You and I have talked a little bit over time about maybe not overweighting feedback that we get or analysis or reports that we get. Talk to me about how you sort of think through dealing with the responses.
Well, I think feedback is like to your point, Jack. Like as much as we all love to think that we can be immune to things emotionally at times, you and I especially, on this hiding behind spreadsheets. But it's true. You will occasionally get feedback, and you read it, and you're like, oh, okay. Like let's just hold on a second, and hopefully, like you've worked on yourself to get to the point where you can sit with that, you can write it down before jumping back on that email or calling them and having that reaction, right? Have a response instead. So I think we all get that still, and I think it happens more when it's closer to something that is maybe more personal to us or more meaningful to us, or something that we feel we do really well. Like if someone tells me, Pete, you're really bad at seeing colors, I'm like, I know I'm colorblind. That's okay. Everything matches, everything goes together when you're colorblind. But if someone were to say, let's say as a consultant working with clinic owners that, hey, I think you're really bad, like you don't do a great job at helping clinic owners to, grow their clinics or things like this. I think like initially there would be a sting in that where I'm like, oh, like, all right, I need to step back and actually really think about this because this is something I pride myself on. Okay. So I think that the distinction there for me anyway, to your question, Ben, of like how to actually value feedback, because I think sometimes we go too far and we go, all right, we need to take on every piece of feedback. And we also have to think, who is giving us this feedback? And then we have to run it through that filter because just because we're getting feedback doesn't mean it's actually really useful to us. And so when we're getting feedback in different areas or different aspects, it's just considering how, for the person giving us this feedback, how qualified are they to give us this feedback? Now, as a client giving us feedback about how they felt, like obviously they're qualified to give us that feedback. We do need to take it with a pinch of salt and look at it through a lot of different lenses there as well. When it comes to specifics, you might run that through your own filter. But a mistake I've seen clinic owners make, just to sort of sum this one up, is they get a piece of feedback here and they go, we need to change this. And then they get a piece of feedback here and they go, now I'm doing this. And then they get one over here and they're like, now we're doing this. And now we're going back to this because I got a piece of feedback back here, rather than slowing down and thinking, how does this align with our strategic goals? How does this align with our values, right? Because the person who gave you that feedback may have completely different values to you. The way they see the world is a completely different lens. And as such, they may complain or give you poor feedback around something that doesn't align with your values in any way. Well, then you have to sit with that and decide, do we want to change our values as a clinic or as a business? Or do we hold firm and say, we're sorry, we're probably not the right clinic or not the right people for you? And I think you really need to sit with that question, because you need to be able to decide who you are as a person and as a team, and what do you stand for, and be okay that that's not for everyone. We can't be for everyone. And it's probably my more mature perspective on that these days.